Abrego Garcia has landed in the United States to face justice.
Tonight on DC News Now, a Maryland father wrongly deported back on U.S. soil. The federal charges for helping smuggle thousands of migrants.
A growing memorial outside a Northern Virginia home. A family of 4, including 2 children, killed in what police believe may be a murder-suicide.
Hey squad, as we head into this upcoming weekend, we do have a cold front coming through. It will provide some stormy activity. I have more of that forecast. It's coming up.
DuPont Circle closed for World Pride Weekend.
It's surprising and disappointing.
This park means so much to everybody.
The disappointment as DC marks its 50th year of Pride celebrations. We begin with breaking news. A Maryland father wrongly deported to El Salvador is now back on U.S. soil. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight for DC News Now at 9. I'm Chris Flanagan.
And I'm Susan Tran, but he is back to face some very serious federal charges. The Department of Justice is accusing Kilmar Abrego Garcia of being part of a human smuggling ring. It stems from a traffic stop from 3 years ago in Tennessee, where he faced no charges at the time. DC News Now's Ben Dennis joining us live from outside the DOJ.
Yeah, and Ben, Abrego Garcia really facing those federal charges, very serious ones.
That's right. Kilmar Abrego Garcia is now facing those serious federal charges for allegedly smuggling in thousands of people undocumented from Latin America, including women, children, and MS-13 gang members. That indictment unsealed just today in Tennessee. This is a story with international tentacles felt here at home and now with a new case inside the DOJ.
Abrego Garcia has landed in the United States to face justice.
Federal prosecutors now alleging the Maryland man wrongly deported in March conspired and worked to illegally bring thousands of undocumented people from Latin America into the U.S.
This was his full-time job. This defendant trafficked firearms and narcotics throughout our country on multiple occasions. They were using vehicles, SUVs, with added seats in the back, floors that had been ripped out.
The case stems from a Tennessee traffic stop in 2022 for speeding. Officers reportedly noticed a handful of people inside Kilmar Abrego Garcia's vehicle. Suspecting human trafficking at the time, he was let go with a warning. Garcia was deported in March despite a 2019 court order barring that from happening to him, causing a wave of concerns over due process.
This matter could have gone away within a week or two after the case being filed. Instead of simply admitting their mistake, they'll stop at nothing at all, even some of the most preposterous charges imaginable.
Garcia arriving in Tennessee Friday after the federal indictment there was unsealed. If convicted, the DOJ plans to send Garcia back to his native El Salvador after serving any sentence.
What happened today is the exact opposite of due process, because due process means the opportunity to defend yourself before you're punished, not afterwards.
And the human trafficking allegations date back to 2016. Some 9 years ago, the DOJ has already filed a motion to dismiss the case that was being handled in Maryland federal court about his initial deportation in March. His attorney says he'll continue to fight that case as well as this brand new one outside of Tennessee. Outside the DOJ headquarters in downtown D.C., Ben Dennis, back to you.
Ben, thank you. We're now hearing from some of Maryland's congressional delegation now that Abrego Garcia is back here in the U.S.
Yeah, Glenn Ivey spoke with DC News Now shortly after that news broke. The congressman says he doesn't know yet what the federal charges mean for Abrego Garcia's deportation proceedings.
This might have been an effort to just shut down the case that was going forward in Greenbelt, where the judge there was giving the Trump administration a very hard time, and legitimately so, especially for them saying things like, sort of essentially secret information that they couldn't share. We'll see if that comes out in the case now, or whether that just was a subterfuge.
Senator Chris Van Hollen also releasing a statement saying, as I have repeatedly said, this is not about the man, it's about his constitutional rights and the rights of all. The administration will now have to make its case in the court of law, as it should have all along. Senator Van Hollen was the first lawmaker to go over to El Salvador and got to meet with Kilmar Abrego Garcia.
Senator Angela Alsobrooks releasing a statement tonight as well. You can find that and the latest details on Abrego Garcia's return here to the U.S. on DCNewsNow.com.
All right, it is Friday night and still steamy out there.
Certainly is. Chief Meteorologist Janessa Webb is here. It's kind of just swampy out there.
Yeah, it's pretty gross across the region. You still have the humidity that's very high. That's going to stick around tomorrow. So as you are moving out and about for your weekend, make sure you have that water handy. It is pretty toasty. We have to wait for the cold front to come through before you start to see some big changes in this. Sun setting later and later. I just looked. We have 14 days until the official start of our summer season, folks, and so we'll continue to gain about 2 minutes of daylight until we head into that equinox on June 20th. Here's the latest with current radar. We don't have any severe weather. We dealt with it earlier today. I think it's subsiding. We do have an outflow boundary, so a little bit of a wind picking up out towards Montgomery County, but this is the batch of moisture that we've been talking about, been watching, and it's going to come in overnight. So overnight hours into your early morning tomorrow, that's when we'll see the worst. So the timing is a lot better. Throughout the afternoon, that's when we'll deal with that front coming through and a spot shower moving in. 75, mostly cloudy right now. We have your weekend forecast coming up.
All right, looking forward to that, Janessa. Thank you. DuPont Circle is the site of the first Gay Pride Day. This was 50 years ago. It's now, though, off limits for this weekend's World Pride festivities. It was a back and forth for days with the National Park Service putting up this anti-scaling fencing all around the entire park this morning. The agency saying it's due to concerns over safety and vandalism, but community leaders are critical about the decision, saying the government is closing off an important space that's played key roles in so many gay rights movements.
It's a space of community, and to rip that away so abruptly, suddenly, it probably leaves everybody frustrated and confused.
The fencing around DuPont Circle will remain in place until Sunday night at 6. The big parade, let's talk about it. The DC News Now team, we will be out there for the World Pride Parade Saturday, tomorrow. So be sure to look for us on that big bus. Come say hi, show us your pride, get a selfie. We're going to be there, rain or shine.
All right, there are Pride events in Maryland as well. Crews are preparing for the annual Pride Walk in Prince George's County. It's tomorrow from 11 until 2 at National Harbor. It'll feature speeches from LGBTQ plus leaders, and officers say this is really just a great way to showcase diversity and inclusion.
It feels welcoming for the community, those who are part of Pride and the LGBTQ plus community. It definitely, like I said, it brings unity. We like to love on each other. Like I said, not just one aspect of the community, but for everyone.
Police say they're expecting about 1,000 people to attend, which will double last year's numbers.
And once World Pride is over, the district will be turning things around for next weekend's military parade. It celebrates the 250th anniversary of the Army, but also coincides with President Trump's 79th birthday. Military vehicles are set to gather at the Pentagon's North parking lot tomorrow, and the parade next Saturday will start at the Pentagon. It's going to go across the Arlington Memorial Bridge along the National Mall and ending right near the Washington Monument. Officials say they're going to need to close the airspace over at Reagan National for several hours on June 14th to accommodate the military flyovers and fireworks.
Well, in Northern Virginia, a car crashes into a home tonight in Woodbridge. Look here. Police say the car first hit the house across the street, then rammed into the second home, trapping 2 people on the second floor. Firefighters were able to rescue them. Say the driver was taken to the hospital, but will be okay. 8 adults and 4 children are now out of their homes due to all that damage. Police are still trying to figure out exactly what caused that driver to lose control.
Developing tonight in Northern Virginia, 4 people are dead, including 2 children, in what police are calling an apparent murder-suicide. DC News Now's Max Marcella spoke with the neighbors who are really shocked to learn about this tragedy.
People here in this Manassas Park neighborhood are really devastated to find out what happened inside this home. Police believe it was an apparent murder-suicide that left 4 people, including 2 kids, dead. One woman we spoke with drove over and left these stuffed animals and flowers, saying her child went to school with the 8-year-old killed. This was the scene earlier in the day on Lene Lane. Police say they got a call from the homeowner Thursday night. They wanted police to do a welfare check for the tenants of the downstairs unit. When the cops got here, they found 4 people dead. 38-year-old Santosh Paryar, 36-year-old Anju Shrestha, an 8-year-old girl, and a 2-year-old boy.
Hopefully we can prevent some of this domestic violence, because there's a lot of mental health issues that is going unaddressed.
Police say all 4 were shot and a gun was found inside the home.
You never know what goes on behind closed doors. No, it's just sad that children had to meet and end like this.
What happened inside the home leading up to the apparent murder-suicide is still under investigation, and all 4 bodies are now at the medical examiner's office. Reporting in Manassas Park, Max Marcilla, DC News Now.
Meanwhile, Fairfax County police are searching for 3 people they say broke into a home and robbed it. Police releasing these photos of the suspects. It happened on Ivy Hill Drive on May 15th. That same day, an attempted burglary was reported in Arlington, but they couldn't get in through a back window. Police believe the 2 incidents are connected. Anyone with information is asked to contact Fairfax County Police.
A community walk in Maryland to tell you about. Prince George's County leaders were working to address some safety concerns, and Councilwoman Crystal Aridea hosting the walk in Capitol Heights to highlight concerns like crime, traffic, and illegal dumping. She says it's a chance to hear from families.
Really seeing issues with abandoned property, trash in the community, potholes, streets that need to be repaved, and then making sure that we're getting pictures, we're documenting, and we're making sure that everything's being tracked in 311, and we're escalating it to ensuring that our community is not forgotten about.
This is the first of 4 community walks. The next one is in 2 weeks over in Suitland.